full transparency was the discipline after hours. I was not disciplined because I was younger and just being dumb, really. So I wasn't taking the opportunity that serious. I didn't even have a backpack, man. Lululemon shorts, a polo t-shirt. He was like, this kid's hungry.
If you were loyal to your emotions, this is going to be your life. Up and down, up and down. And you know what your paychecks are going to look like? Same exact thing. That's the opportunity that you've been asking and praying for. It came, but it just came disguised as hard work. All right, folks, welcome to the Blueprint Podcast. We got a special guest in the house, my good friend and someone I've gotten to know over the last couple of years. I've spoke at his events. I've been on his podcast, so it's an honor to have him on the Blueprint Podcast. My brother, Steven Martinez, welcome to the show.
You left out groomsmen, too. You're one of my groomsmen.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to do it. Yeah,
there we go.
I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that. We're only, 3 months away?
Don't remind me, man. Time's flying. Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm excited, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of logistics, I guess, that comes with preparing for a wedding that... Well, I guess the event stuff, right, with the American Dream helps prepare for that wedding specifically because you already know, what to look for and not. So I guess it works out, but still, it's an event in itself is not easy to do.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you're excited about it. I mean, your lady's
right
there
excited.
watching us. Yeah, you better. Yeah, I need to see a bigger smile, sir.
Very excited.
Okay, good. Just making sure. No, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. You got a lot going on right now. So obviously the wedding, being the number one thing, that's huge. You've got the American Dream event coming up, which is going to be awesome. That's what next month, June.
Yeah, June 18th and 19th.
Yeah, June 18th and 19th. And you've done a bunch of those, so I want to talk a little bit about that. But for the folks that maybe don't know you from social media or you haven't done business with them or they haven't attended your event, who's Steven Martinez?
Man, just a guy hungry for a vision, trying to achieve his version of the American dream. Someone who came from immigrant parents from Colombia. Came here for an opportunity. I saw the sacrifice. I saw what it meant to come here and take advantage of it. Parents divorced when I was 12, 13. Stayed with my mom. She cleaned houses. And I started to understand hustle, determination, consistency. And I was like, man, I got to make something out of myself. And I knew it was possible. I always believed in myself as a kid. But that confidence within me, and also my mom's belief in me too as a kid, always pushed me to just pursue excellence. But that's kind of the rundown in terms of who I was as a kid. Obviously, fast forwarding now, we got the American Dream, iSmart Roofing, and then the software as well, iSmart AI. So just hustling, man, trying to stay busy.
Yeah. You got your hands full.
Yeah.
It's I've had different guests on here, and I got a question for you because I'd like to know what your answer is to it. Mm-hmm. And you've said most of it, but do you think that belief in you was something that was in you already, and then your mom brought it out? Or do you think she's the one that actually instilled it?
That's a great question. I think, and I've had conversations with people about that too. It's kind of like that X factor, right? Like that missing thing that people sometimes miss. I would say a big piece of that, aside from my mom though, was the way my dad was with me as a kid. He was very strict and disciplined. And he was very straightforward to the point, if you're going to do something, you better be the best at it. He would joke around and say, well, if you're going to deal narcotics, you better be the next Pablo Escobar. If you're going to rob a bank, you better do JP Morgan. Whatever you do in life, you have to pursue that to your utmost ability to be your best. So I had that wired in me, right? He's very strict.
That's a very Colombian father advice there.
Yeah, very Colombian father, right? Give me Pablo Escobar, be the best Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
And then my mom, right? She always believed in me. I think a mother's love too is obviously important. I know you mentioned that in one of your prior podcasts as well. I know we've talked about that too off camera with our mother and how much they mean to us. But then at the same time, right? You could have an upbringing, right? That could be, poor or, not the best, and your parents could split. Because not everyone that is in those circumstances becomes successful. I think also it comes down to mindset. Because if that was the case, everyone who would be in that certain level would obviously surpass that. So I think you just have to be consistent, and you want to win. You have to be competitive. You have to be hungry. As far as I'm concerned, for myself, I don't have competition. It's just myself. That's all I want to do. I just want to be the best I can be. I want to be the best husband, the best leader, the best business owner for me. And that's what I think has taken me this far. It's just consistency, really. Yeah,
it adds up, right? It's a compounding effect.
Exactly.
100%. You mentioned X factor. What do you mean by that? What does that mean to you?
Man, I think that's something you can't really describe. You meet someone And okay, good example we were talking about this actually on the drive here, because she was a hostess for these incredible restaurants and hospitality and whatnot. Now you get multiple waiters, right? But then there's always that one waiter that like just treats you special, that has that kind of glare and fire in them, right? It could be even maybe a potential rep or someone you hire eventually in the company as well. But those people that have that charisma, right, to want to learn, to ask questions, to be intrigued, and you can just see it in their eyes. At first, I didn't know what people meant by that, because people would say, man, I see it in your eyes. I was like, oh, I don't know what you're looking at. But now, like, I'm starting to understand. It's like the certain look and kind of persona that men have and women that you kind of feel. It's more like a sixth sense, I'd say. But it really comes through just feeling that hunger and drive to want more in life.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you're talking about that, and you had to like help someone identify it, right? Someone's like, I want to find and be around people like that. Mm-hmm. What are some of the attributes? Like if you had to describe like the characteristics of the person that has that fire in their eye, what do they like kind of sort of look like or sound like?
I think, to be transparent, it depends also on the type of business you want to be in. But if you want to be in sales specifically, or high ticket clients and whatnot, I think grammar is obviously important. The way you speak, present yourself, nice haircut, dress well, posture, just really basic hygiene things. I know it sounds silly, but that goes a long way. You can just kind of see, well, if he takes care of himself, obviously he's going to take care of mm-hmm. the things when it comes to work and business. But aside from that, I'd say value, being of value, because people always say, well, how can I get into the door? How can I find that mentor? How can I do this and that? A good example, we were just talking about it too, was my editor. So he reached out to me 4 years ago when I first started the American Dream. He was like, man, I'll do your social media for free for 2 months. I was like, sure. Now he's been with me for 4 years. So it's just finding ways to put yourself in that room by providing value. Anyone can come up to you and say, hey, Kaiser, I want an opportunity. I want to make 6 figures, But I think if they come to you in a certain situation where they're providing value, like, hey, I'm hungry, I'm determined, just test me out. Give me a week, give me 2 weeks. Let me prove you wrong. Let me show you why I can be the best in your company. Why would you say no to that, right? So I think being of value is a big factor there that people see.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The X factor to me is like you got something like about you. You know what I'm saying? Like you got something special about you that, and here's what it generally like looks and sounds like to me at least, where, man, you either like you look a certain kind of way, you're very like good looking, easy on the eyes, you can articulate yourself very well so the masses want to listen, you're in excellent shape, you got to have like some swag to you, something that makes people look at you and be like, you know what, I want to be like that guy. And I think if you have that, you now have the ability to attract people Correct. And lead people. Correct. Then you got to make sure you back it up with substance, right? Because people will follow you only so much for the things that I said, because you can talk the talk, but if you can't walk it, then they're not going to stay, but you will attract them. And that X factor thing that you mentioned is a real thing. Mm-hmm. It's a very real thing. If you think about some of the mentors and the people that you followed and I followed, they've had something to them. Like they're just smooth. They got the gift of gab. They got swag. Like they just got that it factor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's dope. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I was going to add on to what you're saying. And then I think also with that comes attitude. So I think that puts you in the door. Obviously, work ethic is what keeps you in the door. A good example is Deanna's younger brother, incredible attitude. And we were saying how just having a good attitude in general already puts you above the competition regardless, because people see that, it's infectious, right? If you're having a good day and you're positive, well, I'm going to feed off that. Like, whether it's sales or whatever it is, right? You want to be surrounded by like-minded people. So I think attitude is a big component to that X factor as well. But that would only get you in the door. So now we're talking about, okay, how can I keep myself in that room? Work ethic, of course. And for me, work ethic, the number one thing is speed. If I give someone a chance and they're not fast, I need it today, they don't do it today, that's it. We've tested out people hiring like quick to fire, long to hire, right? So when it comes to that as well, you have to be just fast with it. And if they're not providing those results, then you just have to let them go. But I think people understanding that, okay, that'll get you in the door, but speed is the name of the game, especially now with everything moving so fast.
Speed builds trust.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
And speed, and I've said this on a different show with a buddy of mine who was on here that runs a car business. When I traded in, and I've shared this quote with you, when I traded in one of my Lamborghinis, I talked to the GM of Lamborghini Dallas, John, and I was like, hey, how quickly are you guys going to have this thing listed? like tomorrow and over the weekend. He was like, tomorrow? He was like, this thing will be cleaned, ready, posted up tonight. He is like, one thing I've learned in this business, being in it for 20 plus years, is timing is the killer of all deals.
Yep.
Speed is the
I used
killer.
one of those quotes. That quote I used for the last year's event, I think.
You did. You actually used it in Florida.
The Florida.
Yeah,
event.
yeah. I remember you using it. It really is, though.
Yep.
You know, and the worst is, I don't know if you feel the same way here, but when someone puts pressure on me to speed up and then I deliver and then they take their sweet ass time. There's nothing that annoys me more.
Of course.
Where it's like, all right, I got to get it in by today. I get it in by today, and then now I'm waiting on you. Yeah. It's like, what was the point of me getting it in today if you're just going to take your time anyways?
Yeah.
And I say that because sometimes we're on the receiving end and you have like a new hire and you're like, hey, I need you to make sure all your documents and everything are submitted today. And you get that out of them, which is awesome. That's a great sign of a great candidate.
Correct.
And then you leave them on ice for a day, 5 days, 10 days, and now they're just waiting. You're killing the trust.
Correct.
They're starting to, this is how this guy runs this business?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got to follow up with him? This is who I'm going to go work with, around? And then they end up going somewhere else. Seen it happen time and time again. Let's, I want to shift a little bit to a little bit about, you played a lot of soccer.
I did.
Yeah. What's like, you still play?
I try to. I've been so busy. I need to go back into it, man.
Yeah.
I need to. But yeah, I have Sunday league and stuff for fun.
Nice.
That's been a big part of my life because, you know the full story, but I had a really bad childhood in the sense that my dad was a good dad. Like, he provided the necessities, but it was a very toxic environment in terms of household. So a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and really soccer became my outlet. It was my escape. So since I was 4 or 5, like YMCA, just being involved in that sport, I started to love it. Obviously, it's a great sport too. Aside from like the physical benefits, I was good at it. It started to give me a lot of qualities too. I think being in sports is great as well because obviously you know how to be in a culture with team, interact with other people, want to win, learn how to lose, and get that competitive edge too. So soccer is for sure has been a big thing as a kid for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my sport of choice as well, and that was my outlet too.
Yeah,
growing up, and I loved every bit of it. You continued to play though. You went overseas for a short period, didn't you?
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Yeah, you did. So played as when I was young. Went to school in Clemens, and I was really good at it. So then I tried out for Colombia national team, made the team. We had a tour in Europe. We played in Spain. We played the junior academies, like the U21, like Valencia, FC Barcelona B. An incredible experience. And then I got the chance to essentially get a scholarship and play in England semi-pro, and then also do my bachelor's in business. So I was there for 4 years in a whole different world, learning a different culture. Obviously, the love for the game was incredible. And there I became so disciplined. I mean, you're waking up from 7 a.m. Also, by the way, you don't even see the sun in England. Fun fact, I think it's vitamin D that you have to take.
Yeah.
Because there's no sun there. So from 7 a.m., double training, gym session, nutritionist, you're just wired to be extremely disciplined in that sport. And then that's when COVID hit 2020, so then I came back.
Wow.
But yeah, I did have the chance to play overseas.
That's awesome. Yeah. What an experience. What'd you see the difference was between the best guys versus the bottom tier guys? And they're all obviously very good to even be semi-pro, but there's still levels in pro and right? Uh-huh. What was the difference?
The full transparency was the discipline after hours, to be honest with you. I was not disciplined because I was younger and just being dumb, really. So I wasn't taking the opportunity that serious.
What were you doing, sir?
Well, just going out, going on the bars and stuff and drinking and whatnot. And I mean, if you're an average Joe, that's okay. But if you want to take yourself serious and take your body serious and get to that next level, like Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, no sugar, no diet, doesn't go out, nothing. Messi. I mean, all these players, right? They're very disciplined after. It's not what happened during the training. It's really what happens after the training. That's that competitive advantage where I lacked of, I would say. Obviously, COVID sent me back, but I would say that big difference, man. You're making fun of, what a loser. He's going to the gym after practice, or he's staying an extra hour practicing his shots, or, he's not coming out with the team to go out. Guess what? Now he's playing pro, man. So,
yeah, there's so many stories. One of them I remember about Cristiano Ronaldo was they had played somewhere, and this is when he was with Madrid, and then they flew back to Madrid from wherever they were playing. Mm-hmm. And one of the players was like, "What are you gonna do, man? You gonna go see your wife, your woman? You're gonna, what's the plan?" He was like, "I'm going to the training facility. Mm-hmm. I need to get in the ice bath."
Recovering.
Yeah.
Like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and you hear the Kobe stories where insane work ethic. You know, arguably the best work ethic we've ever seen in that sport. And look at the results. And the same rules apply in business, right?
100%.
Like, people think, okay, I worked from sun up to sundown. I worked from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. It's an honest day's work. And it is. But you won't become the best doing that.
Not if you want to build it, no.
No. You can become very good, but you won't become great by doing that. Because, as you said, the real work is done after hours. It's like, okay, now you got a window. You got to go play with your kids. You got to see your woman. You got to make sure you handle all those things. And then when you get that time alone, you either doom scroll and keep going through your phone and TikTok and Instagram and whatever, or you pick up a book. And even if it's 2 pages a night, 2 pages a night times 365 days, we're talking a lot. We're talking about you've now finished maybe a few books. That's a few books you wouldn't have read. The real work is done outside. It's also the not going out. I had this conversation with you a long time ago. I was like, especially as a young man, one of the best things you can do is learn to say no. Because most young men, including me, when I was your age, I was saying yes to a lot of things until eventually I woke up and I was like, you know, half this game, if I don't put myself in that environment or situation, I'm not going to do dumb things. You got to get better at just saying no to people, because then you prioritize your sleep, your recovery, and your health. Because the guy that goes out after work, he spent a full day of work and he's exhausted, and he goes straight to the bar, pounds some booze, eats some Taco Bell, comes home, and maybe he's back home by midnight, 1 a.m., sleeps, and gets, restless sleep for 5-6 hours, back up at 7 a.m. He's going up against the Steven Martinez, who's finishing up at 7, going home. He's showering, he's eating, he's reading, he's studying. He's in bed by 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and he's also up by 7 a.m. You compound that over the course of 12, 24, 36 months, and if they both started here, here's what it's going to look like. It's not just going to be this guy going up here. This guy's also going to be going backwards. 100%. And then one day that person is going to look and be like, man, we started off at the same exact place. What the hell happened? It was in the daily habits. And it was in the work outside of the work.
Precisely.
So I know you've always been big on work ethic. Like you mentioned that when you started. You mentioned that's mostly from your mom?
I would say the work ethic side, I mean, seeing her wake up at 4 a.m. was crazy. I would wake up with her to help her vacuum at least and take out the trash. She'd go to these offices and clean up. But work ethic.
She's a sweetheart, by the way. She's so freaking awesome. Sweet. I love her.
She loves you, man.
She's a sweetheart. I got the same amount of love right back for her.
Yeah. So. Man. I mean, you see that, right? We come here for what? Our version of the American dream. Obviously, I was born here. I'm lucky to be born here. But for anyone that comes outside, they come here for an opportunity. And we take so much advantage of that in the wrong ways. Our parents sacrifice so much, and then we just let it all go to waste, really. It's kind of sad to see sometimes. And I guess that chip on my shoulder, right, knowing that, my mom's counting on me, obviously now my fiance as well, my future family, but just knowing that there's more out of life, and then also connecting yourself with like-minded friends and entrepreneurs, you notice that, well, aside from business being a formula and based on foundations, but there's certain mentalities and frameworks that we all think alike, and that's what really takes us to the next level. I mean, what time did I go to sleep yesterday? Like 2 a.m. But I was building the software code and all that stuff for something that I'm building. I would come home most of the time. I come back like 8 p.m., 8 p.m. If going from 7 to 8, I'm just devoured into it, and I love it though. I that's my escape. I was joking to her. I was like, man, I actually love working. Like, I genuinely feel that I'm building something. Doesn't matter what, it could be anything, right? But if you have the sole belief in what you can do, you will build it. I think, and I know that you can build. I know that kind of contradicts it, think and know, but very much so confident that you can do anything in terms of like, for example, wood, right? If you can make money off wood, you can make money off plastic, you can make money off these LED lights. It doesn't have to be roofing or construction or HVAC. It could be anything. If you solely focus on that specific purpose, you're going to come out of it.
Yeah, 100%. So you're a young entrepreneur. How old are you, just for the people to know at home?
28. I feel 28. Like I'm 60, though, but 28.
You're old. Yeah, you're not even that young anymore, man. I met you when you were young. Now you're old man. You're right next to me. We're like the same age. Yeah. I got a few years on you, but we don't need to go there.
Like 10.
Yeah, like I was going to say like 2, but whatever.
I'm kidding.
Like 7. So You became an entrepreneur at what age? Have you had a real job before, like working like a hourly job before?
Yeah, so actually I came back from COVID. COVID hit, the world was on pause, and everything was in a recession. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to be stagnant. And I applied for my MBA. I don't know how I got accepted, but I did. I still had the illusion of that time that school was the journey to become successful. Obviously, that's not the case unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, but even then, entrepreneurs make more. So I was doing that, and then I was doing Uber Eats on the side, but like going to groceries, getting people groceries because no one would go to these stores to go because of COVID, obviously. And then I met my first mentor at a bar. That's where my life kind of pivoted. So I got introduced to the industry. I didn't know anything about a shingle, the insurance claim process, nothing. So that was my first actual, I guess, 9-to-5 job, was in sales. Was never been in sales, never been a bartender or waiter, none of that. Went from Uber Eats to being in sales, and then quickly became the director of sales based on my performance and work ethic. And the numbers don't lie, of course. So I was there for a little bit over a year and a half. And just some things didn't line up morally. I was like, man, I don't like how some people do things this way. I want to do things this way. I see an opportunity in the market. I have that entrepreneur spirit where, like, you know, it is what it is. It's nothing personal. So I left, came back, and ever since, man, I've been sole entrepreneur since like 22, 23 years old.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, which I want to talk a little bit about. Mm-hmm. I think one of the big things for a lot of people, and not all, but for a lot of people that encourages them to become an entrepreneur is they had some sort of mentor, which you just mentioned, right? Sometimes it was a father, sometimes a family friend, sometimes some random dude that they met at a bar. Like, they've got someone that inspired them, showed the way. What was it about this guy? And we don't have to talk about his name or anything, but what was it about him that allowed you to trust him and wanted to follow him?
He's a good salesman.
He closed you.
Yeah, he closed me, man. He painted me a vision, a picture, an opportunity that I do believe, you know, is possible in general. I think life throws you opportunities, and I saw that as one. So I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, I just come back. So I learned the industry. But yeah, it was more the vision, the way he projected the opportunity.
Real quick, could you explain to everyone, because I think I remember the story. He offered you the job that night to report somewhere the following morning.
Yeah. So I met him.
And you showed up, and he's like,
correct. So I met him, and I was like, man, I don't know who this guy is. I thought it was just all talk, really. And then I woke up because I would go jogging, woke him. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call him to see if this was legit, if it was just all for show. He's like, hey, we're leaving in 45 minutes to Louisiana. If you're serious, like, come meet us, and your life will change. And it was the day before. No, it was the day of Labor Day. We were going to do a barbecue with my family, and I didn't go. I was like, Mom, I have an opportunity I can't miss. I think this is serious. And she was like, go. I love you. God bless you. And I went there, and then I stayed with him in Louisiana for 45 days.
Nice.
I didn't even have a backpack, man. Lululemon shorts, a polo T-shirt. He was like, this kid's hungry.
Yeah.
And just my work ethic. He was one of those where, almost like a dick, to be honest with you. You know, not the best leader in terms of culture as well. But I could handle it because of my childhood. My dad was really strict, straightforward, so I understood discipline. And I would wake up early, do my due diligence, study, train, all that stuff, with selling, performing. And he was like, man, you're really good. If you're serious, I'm going to go back to the headquarters, but I want you to close another deal to really prove the team so we can fly you out and get a permanent job. I was at the Galleria, had a demo set last minute, had my laptop in my car, went to my car, hotspotted my phone with my laptop, did the demo. His first name was Robert, I'll never forget. Closed him for like $7,500, put it on the team chat. He was like, fly this kid out ASAP. So then with him, obviously I was moving into a new state. He was like, stay with me. He's got a big mansion, and then get on your feet, get your own place. So from that aspect too, not only was I kind of like stuck in a cubicle per se, but I started to see how he ran the business fully from A to Z. I saw everything from sales, production, operations, SOPs, branding, marketing, all the strategies, all the components that it takes to run a $20 million company. And with that event, that's when I was like, okay, I can create a different concept applied to a different market and make this bigger and better. And I saw that vision, went for it, believed in myself. And as I was starting to do the American dream, I needed capital. So I started a recruiting campaign thing for all these guys that I used to have for sales. So I'd be calling up, like, let's say hey, bro, I got this recruiting. I'll give you, 3-4 recruits on a group interview. You get one hire, they make one sale, like you get your money back. It's $5K. Like, okay, cool, sold me. Because for me, relationships though is crucial too. Because imagine if I treated these clients just like clients, but no, like I built genuine friendships with them. Like, yo, this kid's hungry to be successful. You know, I would sit, be the last one in the room, just listening, the quietest one in the room, and just soaking it in as a sponge. Obviously, I make my own conclusions based on what I learned, but then I use that as a common denominator. So like, okay, if everyone's doing X, Y, and Z, what do I like about, each person? What can I use to my own advantage? And I did that recruiting for 2-3 months. Even went to Minnesota. I got hit with the hailstorm. I was like, hey, man, if you send me 10K, I'll close you 15 deals. We both know that's a great deal. He was like, all right, done. So I used that capital to fund the first event. And the first event was really a quite simple concept, giving the minority demographic an opportunity to learn the American dream. I think the minority demographic, and any American too, obviously, but, work ethic, especially in this industry, anyone that thinks foundation, when you think of the minorities, they have the work ethic. They just need financial literacy. So how can we help these people and bridge a gap and give them an opportunity to learn? And at the same time, how can we monetize that by giving, vendors, partners, sponsors also a chance to get business from them? So you almost facilitate this beautiful community of people that becomes a win-win. It's almost becomes like an ecosystem, really.
Yeah, it is.
But that was the hardest thing to do, man. The first event is by far so hard. I would go to other events, cold call, go to the vendors.
What year was the first event?
2023, I believe.
2023 was the first event. So let's talk about the buildup of the event, right? Maybe someone's listening and they're like, I've always wanted to. Maybe they've attended your event, maybe they've seen you online, or maybe they've been to a different event and they're like, how does this shit even work? Like, where do I start? What do I do? Yeah. You talked a little bit about it already. Yeah. It requires money. So you need to figure out a way to either get investors, sponsors, like, or have your own money, sell whatever, right? But that's probably not the hardest part.
No.
Like, I'm sure there's a whole lot more that goes into it. What is, in your opinion, the most challenging part about hosting an event?
Creating a proof of concept that never existed. You're going to vendors and telling them, hey, this is a great concept, blah, blah, blah. They're like, ooh, I love it. Yeah, sure, I'm down. How much? 20K. Okay, yeah, how many times have you done it? We haven't done it yet. Oh, man, it's risky, right? Self-belief, determination, great, going to them, hustling, believing in something. Obviously having incredible people like Tommy Mello. I know we didn't meet back then, but Tommy was a big one. Corbin Rayburn, Beacon at the time, now they're QXO. They were a big sponsor, had a good connection there too. So that helped fund it. But with money, you could build something, but you have to create a proof of concept in the sense of branding and marketing. So you have to really understand how to reverse engineer something from Z to A. Like, if you build the foundation, that's good and all, but an event is so tricky because if you don't have a good first event, you'll never have a second. You'll never have attendees. You'll never have sponsors. We've had over 12 events now. This is going to be our 4th annual one. Last year we had Mario Lopez, Michael Gerber. I know you spoke too. This year we have Paul Hutchinson, Natalie Kingsman, Lance Bachman. We keep trying to, change it up every year and make it different while still being centered around the mission, which is giving people a chance to achieve their American dream. But I think branding and marketing is a big factor for sure.
Yeah, you love those words, branding and marketing.
Yes.
As many times as I've talked to you and like that's came up in our discussions.
Yeah.
Tell us about the branding and marketing. Like one, what does branding marketing mean to you? Because I think it means a whole lot of things to a whole lot of different people.
Yeah, of course.
And then my follow-up question to that is, how do you brand and market an event?
Well, if you look at like brand psychology, right, there's different things and factors like colors, right? Colors give you different messages. Green is money, go. Red is stop, important, like gets your attention. Blue is trust. So if you really understand the study of it, of branding, logo, and the name is important, and it's something that people overlook at. And I'll give you a really quick example. So let's say I'm a company here in Dallas. My name is Hector the Roofer. That's my company, Hector the Roofer LLC. Same quote, same estimate, same everything. Everything's the same. And then you got Blue Hammer Roofing. Well, now that you associated my name with who you don't know, who's Hector, there's no trust there. I don't know Hector the Roofer. Blue Hammer Roofing, though, it's a very generic name that builds more trust. It's a whole psychology really behind it. For example, the American Dream, well, it is what it is, right? The American Dream, you hear it in movies, you see it in books. People think it and they're like, oh, wow, like it gives people hope. It inspires people. So that was a big one as well on creating the name. I think that is a big factor. I know a lot of friends when they go to private equity that have been in business for, well, if you're in business for a long time, you keep the name, but most of them, they have to get rebranded completely. Mm-hmm. Rebranding is one of the biggest things that I think most people do in the roofing industry whenever they get merged.
Yeah, there's been a mixture of both. Yeah. I want to share how we came up with Blue Hammer because a lot of people don't know this, but since we're on the subject. So one, people like, how'd you come up with that name? Hammer, because we're the hammer, not the nail. Like that, huh?
Yeah.
Blue was actually one of the things that you just said, which is the trust factor.
Yeah.
And in addition to the trust factor, because we're a Texas-based company and we're a Dallas-Fort Worth company first, and although we're in different markets, we were thinking blue. The Dallas Mavericks have blue. The Texas Rangers have blue. The Dallas Cowboys, which is the #1 franchise in all of the world, like it has blue in it. So when we were deciding this, and then the hammer part, because we wanted something to be, if we ventured into HVAC, if we ventured into any other, good vertical, the hammer would still apply. And it didn't have to be roofing specific. So blue hammer could be anything. It could be blue hammer HVAC tomorrow, blue hammer solar tomorrow. It could be literally anything. So that was the branding marketing behind that. And we had a bunch of feedback from some high level people, and they're like, yep, that's the one.
I agree.
And our logo, if you've seen it, there's a circle, and then in there, the hammer's kind of built in. And we created that circle because what we wanted to do was create a circle of safety. So when we brought people on board, if you're going to rock the logo, there's a circle of safety here, meaning we're going to look after you and you look after us. So, yeah, branding and marketing, and then being able to articulate the branding and the marketing, I think is sometimes equally important.
Of course.
Because people got to know what you stand for, right? They got to know the vision, they got to know the mission, they got to know the values. If people don't know what the brand is, even if it looks cool, they want to be sold on it.
I agree 100%.
I was shocked when I heard that the American dream was not taken. What a excellent name for one.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, I know, because it's how? But that's probably what everyone was thinking when they were thinking of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no way. Yeah. And then every once in a while there's a guy who's like, let's just check. And there it was, which is freaking incredible. That's the name alone, I think one day will be worth so much money.
I agree.
That it's going to be awesome for you.
I agree.
So back to the event space. So 4th annual event this year, right? And you said, how many events did you say? 14,
Total
13?
we're down over 12.
Over 12 events, which is a really big deal. How do you measure the success of an event?
Well, for me, if the sponsors are happy, I'm happy, right? Of course. But that's more from a financial perspective, because you have to monetize the event.
Of course. Yeah, you're not doing it for free.
Nothing's for free. However, I get a lot of gratification when attendees come to me. They're like, man, I learned so much from X person or Y person. Your speech, by the way, your presentation got incredible feedback. They're like, man, Kaiser's speech just resonated with me. The fact that you're able to facilitate an opportunity to inspire people and give them hope to hey, there's more out of life, whether it's business, life, family, personal, whatever the case may be. It's a nice feeling, right? It's all about giving back. And the more you give, I think the more you receive too. So it all comes back tenfold. But when you do something with true meaning behind giving true value, that's what I think sets you apart from the competition. I think people see here, no one's trying to sell you anything. No one's trying to promote themselves. We're just trying to show you hey, this is my life. This is my journey. This is what I went through. This is what you can avoid to do. Hey, by the way, I'm an expert at AI. Let me show you how AI is changing the industry or marketing or branding or sales, etc.
Yeah, that's fair. And that makes sense. I've heard in this space, and you're one of the people that's told me about it, that, 80% of your sales happen in the last 2 weeks, even if you promote this event, or is it 50% of your sales? What do you think that is?
Yeah, in terms of attendee sales, you usually get around a 70% attendees, 30 days before the event.
Is it 30 days? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's because obviously people they see it, they see the dates, we have time, and then the closer you get, they start to buy. But in that case, what you do obviously when it comes to marketing and strategies, FOMO, urgency, early bird specials, all that good stuff, really create it to where they know and feel hey, this is something that you have to be a part of, and if you're not going to be a part of it, then it's going to be sold out. You don't want to be the guy left outside. So sign up. Yeah.
And when does the initial marketing campaign start? For the event in June, when is the word out?
So that's actually a really good question. It's always changed. So our first event, we tried radio, TV, social media. I think we did it maybe 6 months before the event. Your bigger events, obviously they do it throughout the full year. So that's what we do now. So now we do it the full year. So as soon as this one's done, we're already going to be promoting the next one. But these are things that you start to tweak. But if, let's say, for example, you wanted to do an event and do it the right way, you want to fill it up, well, you got to start as soon as possible. because you start to build that traction, subconscious awareness of the brand, marketing videos. Even though if they're not buying, they're associating the image with you. And then eventually with the retargeting campaigns, having sales guys, cold callers, whatever, you'll start getting them locked in for an actual event.
Is it a lucrative business?
Of course. If you do anything the right way, it could be lucrative. It's always funny, too. I remember when I first met my fiance's father, their concern was what I did for a living. At the time, I didn't start.
Naturally, yeah.
I didn't start. You're Colombian. You look successful, and I didn't start the iSmart roofing venture just yet. So I was like, I do an event. It was like red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean you do an event? But I try to explain it to people. When you do things and you do it the right way, like money comes. Obviously, we have different sponsorship levels. Ones that go from 5, 10, 15, 25, 50, 100K and whatnot. But if you look at your numbers, look at your finances, look at your budget and your marketing cost, your cost per click, cost per acquisition, sales qualified lead. You look at the numbers in terms of conversion rate, all that good stuff. You start to analyze everything by the numbers. And when you're doing that, then you can start to essentially create your own blueprint. Where like, okay, if this is what I have to spend to get this many people to come to the event, how can I benefit from it? Or if these are my expenses from the event, audio, visual, production, marketing, etc. So I'm comparing that with what I need and fund. So typically speaking, I mean, most venues or events, high six figures, really good ones like IRE, man, you saw that, like a booth runs for like 400,000.
Wow.
So the money's in there for sure. You're facilitating something that's bringing people business. The home service industry happens to be a very lucrative industry, so you can obviously charge a little higher, which is nice. But I mean, if you get those setups with a sponsor like Owens Corning, for example, the lifetime value of a manufacturer supplier is 6 figures with a client, right? They'll easily make 6 figures. Mm-hmm. So if they sign up one client, they get their return. So it makes sense for them to sign up for a $100,000 package because they're going to be in front of 500 high-level executives, and then also they'll be a part of the mastermind events as well. So it's really understanding the strategy and then also the market. You have to understand the market. If I was doing a real estate event, I can't give you advice on that. I wouldn't know. But obviously we're in the home service space, so it's much different. That's how I would approach it.
Has one of these events not been profitable? Have you like early days like made some mistakes and like over anticipated and then overspent because of the anticipation of maybe a bigger crowd and you got like the nicer venue? Has that happened?
The first event actually that I ever did was the most expensive I ever had. And I did that specifically on purpose. And I did that because, well, if I'm going to spend 80, it was like almost around 90,000 just on the venue, 90,000 just on the Bayou Music Center. I knew that if I was to spend this amount of money, if I win or lose, doesn't matter. I would have a proof of concept. Mm-hmm. As in what? As in for next year, year 2, year 3, year 4, I can use that footage, that B-roll, that content, those testimonials, those visuals of like, whoa, this is how it's done. If I had my first event at the Marriott, small room, you think they're going to take me serious to drop 50, 100K? Of course not.
Yeah.
If you want to play with the big dogs, you have to act like one, right? So you have to deliver. We had it at the Bayou Music Center. The second one was at the Westin. The third one was at the Thompson. Beautiful venue. This year we're doing it at the Norris Conference Center at Memorial. So we're staying away from Houston just because of the World Cup. It's going to be too much traffic. But beautiful venue. Again, it really depends on how you're going at it, right? If you're trying to provide true value, and for me, it's if I do something, I want you to know that I'm serious doing it. Like, hey, come to my event, let's say at the Marriott Motel 6, whatever. It's like it's not the same compared to something like that where visually you're like, whoa, this is a serious thing. This is something that is meant for high-level entrepreneurs. No high-level entrepreneur. Obviously, if you tell me, Steven, let's go learn in the basement. Lance Bachman said that once. I'll go in the basement and learn from people like you, from successful people. But unfortunately, people gravitate, the physical stuff, the material stuff, the environment, or what they're around in, right?
Yeah.
Like this building, beautiful. You're going to attract top talent because you're in a great building. But if you're in a bad building, you're not going to attract top talent. Same thing with the event and venue. Obviously, you want to put in money where it is. Good audio, good visual, good production, nice venue. People appreciate that stuff. And then the value that's provided there, like, yeah, we didn't make money our first event, but man, did that deliver proof of concept for sure.
Yeah, that's important, right? You mentioned it. When guys are going to go spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, when people are going to come fly in for the events, because I've seen people that fly in from around the country. Yep. You want to give them an experience, right? Like it's not they're there for the speakers, but they're not just there for the speakers. Mm-hmm. They're there for the whole experience. Yeah, and that matters because people are spending their time and their money.
100%.
you've done the event space, and like I said, I've been honored because I've been able to speak at multiple events with you now, and they're growing and they're getting bigger and they're getting better. How many are you anticipating at your June event? Roughly,
so for this one, we'll hit 500 people. We already have way more vendors and sponsors than last year, which is great. It's just, again, just growing it and fine-tuning those strategies, like A/B testing a lot of stuff, retargeting, things like that. That's more on the marketing side. We can get nerdy with it too, but it's just consistency, man. Like, I mean, we talked about it, right? Like, what was that story? I think you said it to me once. Like, there's a man and a bear, right? And the one that doesn't get eaten by the bear is the one that outruns the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Right? Was that the story?
Yeah.
Was I spot on, actually?
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's you and a buddy or you and a guy.
Yeah.
You're in the woods, and there's a bear.
Yeah.
You don't got to be faster than the bear. You don't have to be stronger than the bear.
Yeah.
You just got to outrun the guy that you're with.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, that's a symbolization for life in a lot of different ways.
I agree.
Like, you just got to be able to outlast the competition is what that's saying.
That's exactly it.
Like, you don't even have to be the best. And truthfully, I've shared this story with people in the past. In my last venture prior to Blue Hammer, I was in the fitness industry for 10 years. And I was the youngest ever executive vice president and all this other stuff. I don't share that to brag. I share that because I don't think I was the smartest. I don't think I was the wisest. I was young. I don't think I was necessarily the hardest worker. I don't think I was the best by any means. But the one thing I did have is I could manage my emotions better than those guys. Because in any realm of business, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. There's going to be problems. There's going to be pay changes. There's going to be manager changes. There's going to be procedural changes. There's always going to be changes. And most people struggle with change. The one thing I got very familiar with was if it changed, you know what's going to happen next? It's going to change again. And it is what it is. Most people couldn't get past some of the changes, and they fell off. All I simply did is I outlasted the competition to get to where I was. And that's where most people go wrong. They can't stay the course. They get in their feelings about something, and their emotions take over their decisions and their thought process, and they can't even think clearly, and they are loyal to their emotions. And that's a dangerous and scary place to be, because if you are loyal to your emotions, this is going to be your life.
I agree.
Up and down, up and down. And you know what your paychecks are going to look like? Same exact thing, up and down. When you're feeling great, you're performing well. When you're feeling bad, you're performing terrible. And it's just this roller coaster, and that's no way to live. So outpacing your competition and staying the course is going to take you places that you don't even know that you could go.
I agree. And I think, too, especially with sales, because sales is very much based on, obviously, your performance. You eat what you kill. Consistency there is crucial. Like, you might have a slow day, but you got to be wired to know that, well, at least I'm building up that pipeline for the next day. And if it's not next day, well, I'm going to close it the next day. And sales is not for everyone. That's another topic, too.
Very, very true.
You got young entrepreneurs. Like, we could talk about it now, too, right? They see social media. And I think you were saying, like, on social media, it's where, like, the non-successful people live in, and then the real successful people live off of social media. But, people say, oh, we want that. We want the watch. We want the Lambo. We want this. We want that. But do you want the sacrifice? Do you want to be up working late? Do you want to be sending those cold emails, those cold calls? Do you want to be knocking doors after hours? Do you want to give up time and sacrifice your time and energy with your kids, your family, or just your free time to really build something? Or if you don't want to build it, well, at least make a sale and get that commission check. Again, that's where you go back to the X factor, right? It's like, and you can't wire people that way, unfortunately, man. Like, you could take the horse to the well, but it's not going to feed itself, right? So, it's life, man. It is what it is. And I think at the same time, if people truly, truly, truly want that next level, that opportunity, that you have to go all in. You can't give up on yourself, man. Did you ever give up on yourself?
No.
There you go.
Never. Yeah, I can't do it. That's not an option. I had a meeting with our guys yesterday, all of our leaders. And to me, the way this world works is, especially as a man, this isn't to take away from women, but especially as a man, because that's what I am and that's what I can speak on. I live in a paradigm where it's shit's got to get done.
Of course. That's
how I measure the success of the day. It's not like people are you happy? Like I'm not measuring my days based off of how I feel. It's based off what I accomplish. Like,
Bingo.
am I happy in the sense my family's taken care of, my woman's taken care of, I can go buy nice gifts for my niece and my nephew, I can do these things. Yeah, I'm happy from that perspective. But did I get shit done for the day that needed to get done? And I was explaining this to our leaders, like, at the end of the day, we can be riddled with excuses and we can provide every reason why we're behind, not winning, failing, haven't hit the targets we were supposed to hit, didn't recruit as many people as we should have. The list goes on. Or be the professional. It's a task that must get executed and completed. Just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I've met that are highly successful, they get shit done, bro. They don't sit around and make excuses. They're resourceful. They don't wait on other people. Yep. Call somebody, they didn't answer. They're not like, all right, well, I called. I was waiting on you to call back. Yep. No, you know what they do? They pick up the phone. They call someone else while they're simultaneously searching on ChatGPT and Google for a service get
true.
that. Like it's a nonstop. They're figuring shit out.
I've done that before.
I know.
Okay, one second. Service is bad, man. ChatGPT.
Yeah, like this is what success actually is.
Yeah, you have to learn. Yeah, I agree. No one's born with it. You got to learn it. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, you got it. This game is different. And yeah, the other thing that you mentioned that we were talking about before the show started is some of the most successful people that I know, they're not huge on social media. Mm-hmm. And the people that are huge on social media aren't very successful in real life. There's exceptions to every rule. I'm not talking about those. But as a whole. And the reason why is because most of the successful people, they're actually busy in their businesses, mm-hmm. making money, making decisions, and they haven't made time for social media. Meanwhile, the other guy, all he's done is dedicated his time to his social media, and that's why it's that much prettier from an aesthetic perspective. They're able to create the illusion. And I'm not even saying it in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's just a true observation. And then there's two types of people in that are very, very smart. There's the entrepreneur who says, well, social media, I'm too busy. And then there's the entrepreneur. It's like, well, yeah, I am too busy. I'm too busy making this damn money. Let me go put this money to work. And I hire someone to take care of my social media. And then there's the guy who's spending all this time on his social media. And then he realizes, shit, I can actually monetize this. I can make a great living off of this. I can produce content. I can edit for people. Or I could start selling a course on how to sell a course. Yeah. There's just so many freaking ways to become successful. Yeah. They all require hard work, though.
That's true.
And I just don't think people want to do all that. Like everyone talks about, I wish I just said, if I had an opportunity like you have. It was just disguised as hard work, and you passed on it. The opportunity that you got at the bar at whatever time, at midnight, 1 a.m., whatever it was to show up the next morning at 6, 7, 8 a.m. That was a disguise.
Yeah.
That was a disguise of, what most people, how they're going to respond to that? Psst, bro, it's 2 a.m. You want me to be at this spot? I just freaking met you. You're trying to take me to a whole nother state at 7 a.m.? That was the opportunity, bro.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity that you missed out on. That's the opportunity that you've been asking and praying for. It came, but it just came disguised as hard work.
I agree. Fun story to add to that, too. Similar thing, but different messaging. When I was flying, my fiance messaged me saying that her nephew was getting baptized the morning, the same day we spoke at the Florida event. And I was tired. And I still woke up. I woke up early. She lives an hour away, got there on time, made it to it. And she was like, that was a test. And like the fact that you showed effort, right?
There's no baptizing. There's just a test.
Just like, there's no one here. It's just
just you guys.
Just an empty church.
Like, good job, bro. Just dap you up.
No, but there was, and I think also, like, aside from business, right, just life presents itself opportunities, and things like that. If you're committed to finding a good woman, a good partner, if you're committed to being good in business or gym, right, like, hey, your buddy, hey man, I'm gonna be up at 6 a.m. We're about to hit it. Let's go hard at it. You sleep in. Like, come on, different things. You got to show up and play out.
Yeah, you really, really do. You transitioned, and I want to, we got a few minutes left. You transitioned, which you like to do a lot. You transitioned, I'm only teasing. You transitioned from the event space, and you were already like, you're with all the roofers anyway, and you had started technically as a roofer, right? Years back, like kind of like those 45 days you were selling, right?
Yeah, it was an online training software, but essentially, yes, I had to learn the whole A to Z
You were in
game.
the space.
Yes,
you were in
correct,
the space.
Correct.
You started up your roofing company, which is awesome. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Why do that when you've got the American dream? Someone's got to be looking like, you got that. You're doing well with it from what it looks like. Why do roofing?
It would make sense to not do it in the sense of, well, I'm building the American dream. So during COVID, the recession hit, private equity investors saw all their portfolios plummeting, and they realized that the home service space was actually lucrative during that time. So they started to go more into that space, acquiring companies and whatnot. So I started to understand white collar strategies, all these PE strategies. I started to get PE people involved, firms, M&A firms involved at the events to educate people, blue collar and white collar come together. That was actually the theme of this year's event, where blue collar meets white collar. In a sense, I started to understand, okay, like this is business, this is evaluation. This is how you can actually get it. So now that I'm understanding this, and I understand from speakers like yourself, like Kurt, like many other companies that have sold to PE, and they've run multiple businesses, you understand to see those common denominators. Okay, well, they're all using this as a CRM. Okay, suppliers, manufacturers. Well, I got vendors. I got Owens Corning, GAF, Atlas, etc. Okay, so now I'm starting to I got the connections. I got the blueprint. I got friends, right? Like winners want to see you win. Like we're always going to be here to help each other out one way or another. And I was like, man, it would be silly for me to not give it a go, considering all the leverage that I have already from the event, from the connections, from the knowledge. So we started that last year. Tomorrow we're going to commercial jobs, which is exciting, and part of that concept as well as we're building iSmart Roofing, as times are changing, technology is evolving, we created a software. So we built this incredible software that's retail and insurance. So for the insurance side, it gives the homeowner the opportunity to get everything scheduled online. And then you as a contractor, you're able to send them the contingency, contractor agreement, whatnot. And then whenever you're filing with the insurance, you could get a detailed engineer level damage report. It's incredible. We actually had a PA firm sign up yesterday. They signed up. They saw like, dude, we need this. It's all automated. AI, obviously, you tweak it to your liking. You can customize the features. And then we have a retail feature as well, where they can go and look at the pricing, good, better, best, compare pricing, look at product information, warranty specs, and they can pay online. So there's a lot of softwares that are doing things, but not to that extent. I was using one that, it was good and all, but I saw where the market's heading. AI is changing the game regardless if people want to think about it or not. That's the truth, the ultimate truth. So how could I create something that would set me apart too, like iSmart Roofing, right? So what makes it so smart about it? Well, the cool thing is that the concept of it is you can buy it through your phone. You can get a roof on your phone. You can get an insurance claim through your phone. Within seconds, I can send you a full detailed scope of a damage report for insurance, or I could send you a full proposal on the retail side. So it's something that's never been honestly done. We had multiple calls, have more calls tomorrow. People are excited, man. It really is the future with what we're doing for that. So it all comes together, right? The American Dream event, I started to learn, get obviously iSmart Roofing going, learn from friends like yourself. I was like, okay, cool, I got something, but how can I make it special? Because we all want to have that competitive advantage with whatever we're doing, doesn't matter. So I was like, okay, let me create this own software because I could do it. And we have the team, the developers, all that good stuff.
That's awesome, man.
So we'll see where it goes, man. Every day, just keep hustling, consistency, keep working hard. I think work ethic is big on that. I'm lucky to have a really great partner. She's really pushed me to be the best of my ability. I never understood, because I'd have guests, man, and I'd always, like when they're married or have partners, I always ask them like, oh, like your wife, like how important has she been? And it's always the same answer. I was single back then, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever. I'll build this on my own, like, But then I met someone like her. I'm like, wow, like a good partner does help so much in ways we can't even describe. So I'm really lucky, really blessed, and just discipline, man. That's all it takes.
Yeah, 100%. So, question.
Yes, sir.
Event space, roofing. Just pick one.
Can we put software in there or just?
Don't worry. Just you got to pick
space. Okay, are we talking more for me or just financials?
Just your choice.
The American Dream event's always been my baby.
Event space. Okay.
Yeah.
Event space, AI.
American Dream event. It's my baby, man. I built that from scratch. That blood, sweat, and tears, literal tears.
Yeah.
Went into that.
Yeah, I saw you crying.
Yeah. You were there. You brought the napkin and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
I did. That was great. I recorded it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Colombian football or soccer or British soccer?
Man, English football all day. Colombians are good, man. We got the abilities, the talent and whatnot, right? But we're so lazy. We don't defend. We're just kind of like showcasing like Brazilian football. But England football is, I think it's a whole different level. It's speed, fast, grit, hustle. Obviously, you still need to be technical too. However, times are changing too. Like the wingers aren't how they were back then. I mean, man, you had like Ronaldo, primetime Man U. So many wingers, like they were creating magic, right? Ronaldinho, like magic. Now it's like just straight, just pure robotic speed and drive and just keeping it simple, which is not a bad thing to do, but sometimes the game loses its magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronaldo all day. Yeah, that's an easy question, man.
That was the fastest response I got out of all that stuff. Like, even quicker than the American Dream.
Yeah, I mean, I have to put some thought in that. You tell me this one. Nah, man, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's a good man, good family man. I admire his discipline. I think they released his diet, by the way. I don't know if you know.
I did. No I read it. I don't know how real it was, but I'm assuming. What was it? Real, bro. Yeah, I saw the no sugar part, and I was like, all right, I'm out. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like,
it's a different breed, man.
But at the highest of the highest level, that's what it requires. It's when you want to go home to your family and kids, you go to the ice bath.
Yep.
And there's nothing fun about an ice bath. Like, not when you can, the alternative is you're tired and you go hang out with your family or do nothing after a game and you just took a flight back. But you got a little bit crazy in the head.
I was going to say that too. I think you got to be a little bit crazy too. You got to be obsessed.
You do.
Relentless discipline. That's what Kurt said. And then Michael Gerber once said, he was like, what did this guy say? He was like,
he said a lot.
He has said a lot. He was like, the moment you realize you're the dumbest in the room is when you realize you're smart. And then he was like, do you understand? And I was like, yes. And he was like, you don't understand. And he was like, do you understand now? I was like, no. He's like, there you go, you're learning. And I was like, what he was trying.
That makes no sense.
Exactly. What he's trying to say, right, is understanding that you have to.
He's also like very old, and he probably doesn't know what he's saying. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. He's awesome. He's awesome.
No, yeah, I mean, he did the E-Myth, man. He's awesome people for sure. But the sense of that message was essentially saying that you have to have relentless discipline in what you do, consistency. I think too, as entrepreneurs or even athletes, you have to have a little craziness, and I don't think that's a bad thing to do. I mean, Steve Jobs was crazy. Look at him. He did the iPhone. So many people have changed the world, man. Just believing in themselves.
100%.
Yeah.
I got a final question for you.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, fun fact, Ronaldo's almost at 1,000 goals. I think he's at like 970 something, I think.
You think he'll do it before he retires?
Oh, he has to, man. Well, like 30 goals left?
Yeah, I don't think he'd leave without hitting that target, right? Like, that just wouldn't make sense.
1,000 goals is crazy.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. Continue, please. Your last question. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. This is something I like to ask all my guests, okay, to wrap up our interviews.
Yeah.
So let's say, God forbid, this is the last recording we have of you, right? We both end up in a situation where we're no longer present, we're gone, and people look back at this interview and they get to see Steven Martinez live and in the flesh. And you had one last message you can share with the world. Your family's listening, your woman's listening, your attendees, your sponsors are listening, everyone that loves you, mom, dad, the list goes on. Mm-hmm. What's the one message you'd like to leave with the world?
The one message I'd like to leave the world, aside from obviously like the basics, right? Knowing discipline, consistency, understanding core values, I think, is something that will fundamentally change your life in terms of faith. I think everyone should have faith in regards to their beliefs. I think that's something very important that sets a moral standpoint, right? To have something to fall back on. I think that's important. And then having in mind that at the end of the day, there's always a bigger picture to things. It's not just about us. It's about the people we impact. How many employees do you have, by the way? I'll give it as a quick example.
Like about 150-ish.
Okay, 150-ish. 150-ish plus their partner, plus their kids, 1,000, right? It's understanding that at the end of the day, we are a vessel in the sense of like we're here to help people and be of value. I mean, at least I could say I did the American dream, right? And I was able to inspire some people. And it doesn't have to be anything that big, too. It could be something as simple as opening a door, like just being good, man. The world's already crazy as it is. All these news and everything going on. I think good people is what we're lacking. It's not about the money at the end of the day. The money's great, of course. Consistency, discipline, all that factors in, of course. But there's more to it than money. I mean, we've met people with money that are it's like whatever. But meeting people like you, like that have money, and you treat your employees.
Easy there, yeah. Don't put my business.
You treat people though like as is, like as your brothers, right? Your brothers, sisters, like that's what it is. Treating people good. I think that's the number one message, man. Because when you have that attitude and that mindset, that'll put you in the right place, I think.
Beautiful, brother.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. How can these people find you on social media? Instagram, Facebook, what's the best way to get a hold of you if they want to be hear more of the story? Maybe they want to be a sponsor at an event. Maybe they want to be a guest at the event.
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is Steven_Martinez. YouTube is Steven Martinez with 2 Z's, I believe. TikTok, I don't even use TikTok. My guy does it. I think it's Steven Martinez with 2 Z's as well. Yeah, more importantly, obviously, the event, AmericanDreamEvent.com, AmericanDreamEvent.com. June 18th and 19th. Get your tickets.
Yeah, get your tickets, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you again for joining the podcast. Guys, as you're listening in, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Blueprint Podcast. Steven Martinez.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.